Okay, so what are these app things? Well, this is my personal iPad. The one that you check out from the library will look different, of course, but it will have, see this thing here that I just am not going to remove? These things with the little blonde-haired kid on them. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 is going to be the first one that you use. There's actually 9 assignments, but some apps have 2. One of them has 3, and so on. So anyway, the first one you're going to be working on is this one, SOH CAH TOA. So I'm going to open it up, and you're going to get to a screen like this. Now you'll notice in the email box it says use your @go.dctc.edu address. You have to use your @go.dctc.edu address. This is not set up so that you can sign up with any old email. You have to use that one. Now I'm signed up to use actually a different email. So kind of ignore what I'm doing here. Pretend I'm doing my DCTC Go thing, whatever. I'm actually going to use Biff's in. That's the name of the blonde-haired kid. .esq. Let's see. And it's at Gmail, I guess. Okay. And then your tech ID. On the password line, your tech ID. That's that 8-digit number that you have somewhere. That's what you got to use for your password. Not me. I'm using this. Let's see now here. Yep. Okay. I believe that's the right one. And in order to sign in, you're going to have to actually hit the sign in button. So I'm going to hit the sign in button, and if it works, you should get to this page. If it doesn't work, please double check your email and your password to make sure they're typed perfectly. If it still doesn't work, send me an email because that means I got something set up wrong in the database. But anyway, you should be able to get in here, and you'll see it'll show you your name. It doesn't show my name for some reason, but it will show you your name, and then it'll show you if you count these, there's 9 scores. These are iPad assignments that you're going to do. These 2 that have an asterisk and they're bold, these are in the present app that we just opened up. So those others are in different apps. But anyway, this app has 2 drills you can use. So you can say, oh, okay, I can do these drills here. Notice there's a fetch data button that you can hit at any time. Like now, boom. And you'll see that I haven't really submitted anything. And I started playing with the binomial distribution and I only got a 50. Bummer. But anyway, none submitted is what yours should say all the way down. And that's because you haven't done them yet. So that's the fetch data button. There's a logout button, and there's a proceed to app button that I'm going to hit right now. So I'm not going to lecture you on this right now on the actual material, but when you get here, the first thing it does is you get this screen that says, hey, this is all my information for using the app. So I just tell you some things that I think you should know. Like see here in the red where it says drill number 1 tab, it says you must then press 1, and so it gives you a little bit of important instructions and stuff to make sure you know this. Here I even wrote in a little example on how to solve an equation or whatever. Viewing saved scores, right? So you're signed into Google Firebase right now, or I am. And if I don't sign out, fine. Next time I start the app, I'll be automatically signed in. That's cool. I'll go right to that score page instead of having to type my password again. If you want to see a new score, you have to hit fetch data. So even when you finish a quiz, you'll say submit score. When you get to the end of a quiz or a drill, it'll say, hey, do you want to submit your score? And if you do, do it. And then it'll take you back to the score page. And then you'll say, well, where's my score? I just took the quiz. Well, that's because you have to hit the fetch data again. And if it doesn't show up immediately, just wait a minute and then hit the fetch data again. Works every time. So anyway, I'm on the home tab right now, which is instructions. You should have a tab on the bottom. You can see where there's a blue house that says instructions. I think the tab view is different on your iPads. They moved it to the top. That's just because iOS 18 is different than iOS 17. And what did they do? They went to iOS 18. So what am I going to do? So, but anyway, it should work. So you see the next 3 tabs. What is sine? What is cosine? What is tangent? And these are just kind of some nice, that's not the full lectures or anything, but it's some nice information that, after you've done the lecture and maybe after you've done the homework, you might want to come here and read this, and this will help fill in any gaps maybe or expand your information. That's how you really learn something, by the way, is you look at the same thing several different ways, and then you have more neurons are linked. And so if one neuron connection fades, maybe you can get there from another, whatever, and then put it right back. Anyway, it's a good idea to learn thoroughly. So this has got some stuff. Sine, what is sine? Oh, it's opposite over hypotenuse and so on. And it's got like a thing here. You can go, hey, I'm going to make the... Notice the ratio of the green side over the blue side is always 0.5. That's the idea of SOH CAH TOA, is that these ratios are always the same if you have the same angle. This is the table that's cute. You can kind of scroll down here and say, I want to figure out when is the sine equal to 0.5. So I'm looking in the sine column and I'm scrolling until I get to 0.5, and I can tap on the 30 and say, oh, it's the 30-degree angle. I see what's going on. It's got some instructions for using the calculator. It's got some, this is my visuals on the sine. This is how I personally picture sines. I picture these arrows. But you'll notice in every case the arrow is finding the opposite over the hypotenuse, and you saw that in lecture. So anyway, let's not belabor that point. Another one page for the cosine, another page for the tangent. Then you've got these two drills. So the first drill is due Wednesday, and the next drill is due Saturday of next week. So drill number 1, let's see what it looks like. Oh, why do we have so many options here? Well, actually, what you're supposed to do here, it says find that angle using SOH CAH TOA, right? So you'll see the green triangle's got a theta. And then we've got these two sides. And what you want to ask yourself is, I wonder if those two sides are making a sine, cosine, or tangent. And if, in this case, they're making a sine, and you say, okay, so I'm going to use... Actually, I'm going to place into the sine minus 1. Now, it's a little tricky on your iPads. It works pretty good on mine, but you just want to press, hold, make sure it's being lifted up. Keep a nice firm press as you drag. Let's see, that's the opposite, right? So I'm going to put this on top, wait until the boxes turn red, and then you can let go, and it'll go there. And then you can tap on the 250, make sure you're kind of pressing, holding a good press on there, drag it over, and wait until the boxes turn red, and let go. And you say, okay, that's what I think it is. It's not the shift cosine. It's not the shift tangent. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use the shift sine. Let's see if it works. Yay, it works. And if you have a sound on, it might even go ding. I forget if this is the one. One of these has sound effects. It might be this one. Anyway, I got it right. And so up here you'll see, oh, I made one attempt. I got one correct. I've got a streak of 1. My longest streak is 1. Okay. So streak of 1. That's what's important here. I hit next. Let's see if I can get another one right. So what's this? Is this a sine? No, that's not a sine. What is that? That would be a tangent, right? Opposite over adjacent. So this is the opposite. Press, come on you. Press, hold, drag it over. Opposite goes on top. Boink, cool. Press, hold, opposite goes on the bottom. Cool. And I can check now. And I'm expecting to hear a ding, but maybe you have to turn your volume on to hear a ding or something. My volume apparently is not on. Anyway, and then if you're confident that it's right, you can check by hitting the next button, or I already did check. I got it right. I don't have to check. I just have to say I want another question. So I hit the next button. Boom. And these triangles are randomly generated, so it's not going to be the same triangle every time you try it. And your goal here, let's see, is this what is this? This is a cosine. Oh, that's good. Sometimes this thing will give you like 4 sines in a row and so on, because it is random, and random means you're not going to get one of each right away. But anyway, this is definitely a cosine. I'm getting lucky today. So that would be the adjacent here, the 47.8. So I kind of pick it up. When the boxes turn red, I let go of it. And I take this one, pick it up. That's the hypotenuse. It goes on the bottom here. Boom. I know that's right. So I hit the check. And I got it right. I got a streak of 3. Now, this is going to take some doing, because your goal here is to reach 20 in a row. You want your streak to get to 20. When your streak gets to 20, you will get to a screen that pops up. Maybe I should try to do that real quick. Okay, I've made it to the 19th. I'm about to get the 20th, I hope. I would hate to start back at 1. But anyway, let's see, what is that? That would be, see, my theta's up there. Sometimes the triangles overlap a little bit on the other stuff, but it's okay. It seems to be working anyway. So that would be an adjacent over hypotenuse, right? That would be a cosine, right? I sure hope so. So I'm going to put this on the top of the cosine. I'm going to put this on the bottom of the cosine. And I want to show you what happens when you get to the 20th. Remember, you got to get a streak of 20, and then you'll actually be finished. And by the way, it's going to take a little while. It's worth 25 points, remember. So it's, you know, you're going to probably get to 10 and then make a mistake, and then you might get to 12 and make a mistake. And you don't want to do this until you have a real good idea what you're doing. Or I suppose you could just play with it and you'll learn it as you go. But you need to be a little patient, is what I'm saying, to get to make 20 in a row. Let's see that I did. I'm going to check. Boom. Yay, I made 20 in a row. And then this is what happens. You get this popping up. Trig angles reached, why does it say 30 in a row? That's a program. And we just found our first bug. I made it to 20. So it says you reached 30 in a row, whatever. So I'm going to report the pass. Now you could reset and not report if you wanted to. I'm not sure why you'd want to, actually. You might as well report. So I'm going to report the pass. Boom. And I thought it was going to take me back to the scores page, but it didn't. That's okay. I can go back to the scores page. You see the chevron on the upper left where it says scores? Boink. So I'm going to hit the scores, and you can say, well, nothing's different here. Yeah, but I got to fetch data, see? Fetch data. Pass! Look, the pass showed up. I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. And now I can go back to the app. Proceed to the app. And I can go back to drill number... let me go back to drill number 1 for a second. And let me just kind of show you something. You see how that's the opposite, right? What happens if I try to put it where the adjacent goes? It says, no, it won't go. This is the hypotenuse. What if I try to put it where the adjacent goes? It'll say, no, it doesn't go there. Now, it will, if you want, you can put the opposite, give me the 150, you can put the opposite on top of the tangent, and it'll be okay. And what it's telling you is that, yes, that's where opposite usually goes. It's not telling you that this is a tangent. It's telling you, yes, that's where opposite usually goes. But I did want to point out that if you drag it to a spot it's not supposed to go, it's going to go back. So let that be a clue. It might not be that the app is messing up. It might just be that it doesn't go there. So and you can see the number of attempts has gone up to 3, which doesn't affect your score at all. You just have to get a streak of 20 in a row. It said 30. Dang. Anyway, 20 in a row and you're done with this one. Okay, cool. That's that one. Now the one that's due the Saturday after that is drill number 2. Drill number 2. Okay. This one's a 2-step process. So luckily there's no drag and drop here. So this one, it's all tapping. So this one should be easier in that sense. So what are we doing here? It said we've got to solve for x, right? Looks like if I were solving for x and that 36 degree were my reference point, I'd be looking at opposite over. I'd be looking at a sine. So which trig function do we need? I tap on sine. Now if I tap on cosine by mistake, cosine will go away, and you'll say, oh, I guess it's either sine or tangent. And if you then type on tangent, it'll say, oh, I guess it must be sine then. Now you have to type on the sine. You actually have to get it right. So tap on the sine. Okay. Once you tap on the right trig function, it gives you 2 equations that you can solve. How do we solve for x? The top one says x equals take the 250 and multiply by the sine. And the bottom one says take the 250 and divide by the sine. And so you can take a piece of scrap paper or whatever and write it out like we did in lecture and say sine of 36.87 equals x over 250, and pretty soon you'll say, oh, I'm going to have to multiply both sides by 250. It's that one. And it's good. It lights up like that. When the next button activates, it's because you got it right. I think there's sound that I'm not capturing here, but whatever. And that's what this is. So, okay. Do this every single time. Maybe I'll get this one right. That's a sine. That's an opposite over hypotenuse. That is a sine. Yay! Now I'm going to be multiplying by the sine. Yay! I got it right. So my streak is at 4 now. Yay! So I only did 2 problems. My streak is at 4. What's up? It's because this counts as a problem. You'll see my streak went from 4 to 5. And then this counts as a problem. Picking the right equation. So you get 2. It's like a 2 for special. Now, because it's a 2 for special, I need your streak to go to 30. So for this one, I really do need your streak to go to 30. And then the same stuff happens. Pardon me. You'll have that screen pop up that says, would you like to save the score? And you save the score, and then you can go back and fetch your data and see your score. And when it's all nice and saved, you can say, wow, I'm done. And then if you want, you can play with this some more. I kind of hope people will play with these some more. It's a great way to learn this stuff. You can read some more, whatever. I don't know if you want to go to the instructions more, but you could read the sign. You could drill on this for a little while. You could drill on this for a while. Just this time, if you know that you've done it, if you know that you've passed, right? Well, for this one, you can only pass. But I was going to say, if the congratulations thing pops up again, you can skip the saving. You don't have to save anymore. And that actually might be important. Like, let's say you got an 80, and then the next time around you got a 60. Well, you don't want to save the 60 because the 60 becomes your new score. It only saves your latest score, not your new score. So that's why it's good. And you can do this at any time. Come back here and say, did I pass? Yeah, I passed. What did I get? I got a 70? Okay, I need to beat a 70. And then you go to the app, try to beat a 70, and so on. Okay, that gives you an idea. Look, I did 2 apps in one, or 2 drills in one. 1 app, 2 drills. Cool.